All right, so welcome to another deep dive, everybody. Today, we are diving into the world of large language models.
LLM.
LLMs, yes. And
You've probably heard of ChatGPT.
ChatGPT, yeah, that was sort of a big deal. That really kind of set things off, you know.
Really kicked off that craze.
Yeah, and so today, we're going to explore a new LLM. It's called Hunyuan-Large, and it's created by Tencent. And this thing is massive. We're talking 389 billion parameters. But here's the catch. Only 52 billion of those are actually active at any given time.
Yeah.
So what's going on here? Why aren't all 389 billion parameters active?
Yeah, well, it all comes down to this really cool approach called mixture of experts, or MoE.
MoE.
And instead of having just one giant brain that's trying to do everything, Hunyuan-Large has a whole team of specialists, and each one is incredibly good at a particular task. So think of it like calling in like the best doctors for a really complicated medical case.
Right.
You wouldn't want the general practitioner performing brain surgery.
Right. So it's kind of the same idea here.
So it's like having a whole team of experts, and you can
Yeah.
pick and choose which one is best for the job.
Yep. And those 52 billion activated parameters, that's like the combined brain power of the expert team for that specific job. So it's not just about sheer size. It's about smart allocation of resources.
Okay. So it's not about brute force. It's about strategy.
It's about finesse.
Finesse. There you go.
And get this, Tencent is already using this MoE architecture to power its own AI chatbot called Yuanba.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's not just some theoretical idea. It's already out there, helping people with things like reading and writing and even just searching the web.
That's super cool. That is super cool. But you know me, I'm always curious about the data. So
of course, yeah.
you can't have this powerful LLM without tons of data. So how much data did Hunyuan-Large gobble up?
Well, hold on to your hats because we're talking about 7 trillion tokens.
7 trillion.
That's trillion with a T. 7 trillion.
Yes.
Okay, my brain is struggling to even conceptualize that number. But what I find really interesting is this thing called synthetic data. Almost 1.5 trillion of those tokens are synthetic, which means they weren't just taken from the internet. They were actually created specifically to train the model. Can you tell us a little more about that?
Absolutely, yeah. So it's like creating this custom-made training program for Hunyuan-Large to improve its skills in certain areas, like math, coding, or even those languages that don't have a lot of data available. So the researchers, they outline this 4-step process for this data synthesis. First, you start with something called instruction generation, where they take these little bits of knowledge from different sources, like websites, books, code, and then they turn those into a bunch of different instructions.
So it's like giving Hunyuan-Large like a bunch of tasks to do, to learn from.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then comes instruction evolution, where they take those instructions and they make them even better. They make them clearer, more informative, and even harder.
Sounds like a workout. So they're putting it through boot camp.
Yeah, totally. And then in step 3, they use specialized models to come up with good answers to those supercharged instructions. And then finally, they have this rigorous quality control process to filter out any low quality data. So they're really making sure that only the best information gets into that training set.
So it's not just about quantity, it's also about quality. That makes sense.
Exactly.
But even with all those experts, managing 7 trillion tokens just seems like a nightmare. How does Hunyuan-Large handle all of that without, short-circuiting?
Well, that's where the real genius of this model comes in. The researchers, they came up with 3 key innovations to make it incredibly efficient. The first one is something called KV cache compression. And essentially, they found a way to shrink the amount of memory needed for the model to keep track of everything it's learning. And they use these clever techniques like grouping similar requests and sharing information between different layers. And the result is Hunyuan-Large uses 95% less memory than a standard model.
95%?
Yes.
That's insane. So what are the other 2?
Yeah, so the second one is called recycle routing. So imagine that an expert is overloaded with data.
Right.
Normally, some of that information would get lost. But with recycle routing, Hunyuan-Large redirects that extra data to another expert that has more room. So it's all about maximizing the use of every single piece of information.
That's so smart. Okay, and what about number 3?
Yeah, so the third one focuses on the fact that each expert might learn at a different pace, just like humans, right? So Hunyuan-Large actually adjusts the learning speed for each expert based on its workload. So this ensures that every expert is learning as efficiently as possible.
So it's like a personal tutor for every expert.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's not just about building this huge model. It's about making it work well, making it efficient.
Exactly.
But now the big question, does all of this fancy tech, does it actually translate into better performance?
Well, let's dive into the results and see what they tell us. Well, Hunyuan-Large's performance is really quite impressive. It goes head-to-head with some of the biggest names out there, and it even outperforms them on certain tasks.
Yeah, last time we were talking about like those benchmarks,
Yeah.
and how Hunyuan-Large did against the competition. And I have to admit, I was pretty blown away.
It's especially remarkable when you think about the fact that it achieves this with fewer activated parameters compared to some of the giants in the field.
Yeah, it's like it's not just about size, it's about how you use what you've got. Right.
Exactly. Exactly.
But those benchmarks, they're not just like for bragging rights, are they?
No, not at all. They're designed to really push LLMs to their limits and reveal their strengths and weaknesses. They give us valuable insights into how well these models understand complex information and, reason logically and ultimately solve problems.
Right, right. And one thing that I find really exciting about Hunyuan-Large is that it's open source. So what does that mean for like developers and researchers who are, eager to get their hands on this tech?
Oh, open source is a game changer because it means that the code and the model itself are freely available for anyone to use and modify
Yeah.
and build upon. It really fosters this collaborative environment where innovation can thrive and lead to the development of new and exciting applications.
So it's like opening up a treasure chest of like AI knowledge
Yeah.
for the whole world to explore.
Exactly. Exactly.
I love that. I love that it's democratizing this cutting edge tech. Um, so where do you see Hunyuan-Large making the biggest impact? Like what kind of applications are we talking about?
Well, the possibilities are vast. Hunyuan-Large has some serious strengths in areas like language understanding, reasoning, and handling those really long chunks of text. This makes it a perfect fit for a wide range of applications. So think about chatbots that can have like truly natural and meaningful conversations, or virtual assistants that can anticipate your needs and offer personalized support, or even like educational tools that can tailor lessons to different learning styles.
It's like having this like super intelligent sidekick who can help you with just about anything.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
From writing a song to solving a complex math problem, Hunyuan-Large could be there to lend a hand.
Very cool. And also, let's not forget about the impact on research, right?
Of course.
Hunyuan-Large could help us analyze huge data sets,
Yeah.
identify hidden patterns, and even, generate hypotheses, speeding up scientific discovery.
Absolutely, yeah. And imagine it even helping researchers write their papers.
Oh, man, that would make my life a lot easier. But, with all this talk about all this potential, we have to acknowledge that any powerful technology
Yeah.
comes with this responsibility to use it wisely.
Absolutely. As LLMs become more and more sophisticated, we need to be mindful of how they're being used and ensure that they're being developed responsibly.
Right. It's not just about making them smart. It's about making sure they're used for good.
Exactly. Exactly. It requires careful consideration and the development of safeguards to prevent misuse. And this brings us to another fascinating aspect of Hunyuan-Large, its ability to handle those super long stretches of information.
Right. Yeah, those 256,000 tokens, we talked about that earlier.
Mhm.
But like, what's the real significance of that? And how does it set Hunyuan-Large apart?
Well, think about it. We live in a world that's just overflowing with information.
Right.
And most LLMs, they struggle to keep track of like long narratives or complex documents. They tend to kind of lose the thread and give, inconsistent or inaccurate responses. But Hunyuan-Large, with its ability to process so much information at once, it can really understand these vast amounts of text, making it perfect for tasks that require deep comprehension and analysis.
So it's like having an AI with like a photographic memory for text.
Exactly.
It can remember every little detail
Yeah.
and connect the dots across like pages and pages of information.
Yes.
That's incredible. So like what kind of potential do you see there?
Oh, the potential is huge. Legal professionals could use it to analyze like those incredibly long and complicated contracts. Researchers could use it to sift through mountains of scientific literature. And educators could create these personalized learning experiences that adapt to, each student's pace and comprehension level.
And what about like the creative applications. I'm already like my mind is already going crazy with
Oh,
ideas.
absolutely.
Like, imagine giving Hunyuan-Large an entire novel and asking it to, like, analyze the characters or predict the ending.
Yes, or think about generating personalized stories based on your own life
So, like,
experiences.
having an AI co-author
Exactly.
who can help you craft these compelling and engaging narratives.
Yeah.
That's amazing. But, let's bring it back down to earth for a second. What are some of the challenges that researchers still need to tackle in the development of LLMs, both in terms of like the technology itself, but also like the ethics of its use?
Well, I think one of the biggest hurdles is the sheer amount of computational resources required.
Hmm.
Training and running these massive models takes a ton of computing power, which can be very expensive and also have an environmental impact.
So it's not just about making them smarter, it's also about making them more efficient and sustainable.
Precisely, yeah. We need to find ways to train and run these models in a way that's both powerful and responsible, and that might involve innovations like Hunyuan-Large's MoE architecture. Another key challenge is ensuring that these models are aligned with human values and objectives. We've seen instances where LLMs exhibit biases or
Oh.
generate, harmful content, which highlights the need for careful ethical guidelines and oversight.
It's like teaching a child right from wrong.
Exactly.
These tools, they're incredibly powerful, and we need to make sure that they're used ethically and responsibly.
Absolutely. And finally, there's the ongoing challenge of explainability. These models can be like black boxes. Sometimes it's hard to understand how they arrive at their decisions.
So it's not just about what they can do, it's also about understanding how they do it.
Exactly. We need to develop ways to make their decision-making processes more transparent. Increasing trust and accountability, especially in sensitive areas like healthcare or finance. This is an active area of research, and it's crucial for the responsible development and use of LLMs.
You've given us a lot to think about. It's clear that the future of LLMs is full of potential, but we need to be thoughtful and responsible in how we approach their development and their use.
It's a journey we need to embark on together. Carefully considering the implications and working collaboratively to shape a future where AI empowers humanity.
Well said. Well said. We've covered a lot of ground today, but there's still so much more to explore. So join us in part 3, where we'll delve into the long-term implications of this open source marvel and imagine what the future holds for LLMs in a world that's transformed by AI.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the show, everyone, for the final part of our deep dives into Hunyuan-Large.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey so far.
It really has, and we've explored this impressive architecture.
Yeah.
Learned about its massive data appetite, and we've even touched on the need for responsible development. But now I want to shift gears a little bit and look ahead. So if this is what's possible with open source models right now, I mean, what does the future hold for LLMs? What kind of world are we stepping into?
It's a fascinating question, really. We're still in the early stages of this AI revolution, and I think Hunyuan-Large offers us this glimpse of what's possible. But it's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, it feels like we're standing at the edge of like this vast uncharted territory, and who knows what's out there? Like what amazing things could be just around the corner.
Well, imagine a world, right, where LLMs are seamlessly woven into like every aspect of our lives. They could help us personalize our education,
Mm.
making learning more engaging and effective. They could streamline our healthcare experience, providing, personalized support and guidance. And they could even like revolutionize the way we create art and music, really
Mm.
pushing the boundaries of human creativity.
It's like having this team of
Yeah.
like brilliant assistants working behind the scenes to make everything like smoother and more efficient
Yeah,
and more creative.
exactly.
And it's not just about, making our lives easier. It's also about using these LLMs to tackle some of humanity's biggest challenges, right?
Absolutely. They could analyze climate data to help us, combat global warming or develop new medical treatments to cure diseases.
Mhm.
They could even help break down language barriers, fostering greater understanding and collaboration across cultures.
It's both exciting and a little bit daunting, to think about like the power that we're unlocking with this technology. It really makes you realize the importance of having these conversations now. like right now.
It's crucial, yeah. We need to be thinking about the ethical implications,
Yeah.
anticipating potential challenges, and really guiding the development of LLMs in a direction that benefits all of humanity.
We have a responsibility to make sure that these powerful tools are used to create a future that's more equitable, sustainable,
Yeah.
and fulfilling for everyone. It's
Yeah.
it's a big task, but I'm optimistic about what we can achieve.
I am too.
So as we wrap up our deep dive today, I want you to remember this key takeaway. Hunyuan-Large, it's not just another LLM. It's a huge leap forward in AI, and it's a symbol of the incredible ingenuity and progress that's happening right now. And you know what's even more amazing? You, dear listener, you're a part of this story. The choices that we make today, the conversations that we have, they all shape the future that we're creating together. So as we leave you today, I want to leave you with a question. What kind of future do you want to see shaped by AI? What breakthroughs, what applications are you most excited about? Take some time to think about it. Explore the possibilities, and remember, the future is ours to create. And if you're eager to learn more about Hunyuan-Large, maybe even play around with it yourself. We've included links to the model and the code on Hugging Face in the show notes. Go forth and explore. And until next time, keep seeking knowledge, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep.